Hi, welcome to Squishy Exclusive. Let's give these squishies a makeover. Now, the story behind this is I was given this bag of squishies as a gift. So let's see what we've got. Nice and squishable so far. I decided instead of just emptying them out into my squishy collection, where they would probably never be seen again, I decided to give them all a makeover at once. And I'll just have to see what ideas I can come up with. Lots of food squishies. We've got the strawberry, we've got panda buns, we've got this macaron, very nice. Just emptying it out, see what else is in there. It comes with the little straps in case you want to use them as keychains, and a really cute little turtle. A little mushroom, I think that is, and a paw print and another little bun or a donut. So now it's all out of the packaging. I'm seeing what I've got and I'm going to start making some decisions about what to pair with each other, because I'm going to team some of these squishies up to make certain themes. So the two big panda buns are going to be together, the turtle and some of the others. I've got the cat and the green ice cream. I'm still thinking. I'm just going to give them another squish while I think about what I'm going to do with them. So we start as always with a quick sanding just to help the fabric paint stick. And of course the biggest decision to be made, which squishies to start with. It's these, a piece of bread and a cat mushroom, I think it is. This is actually going to become a fried egg on toast. I'm sure egg on toast has been done before as a squishy. All I need to do is decide where I want the yolk to go, and I'm hot gluing it on. Then I'm going to seal it in with some slick paint. And once that's dry, I remembered I had to pull out the little plastic hook. And as you can see, it is really firmly stuck in that squishy. Just when I thought I was going to have to bring some tools in, out it came. So now I'm going to start mixing up my toast colours, starting with white and then adding a bit of brown, yellow and the orange, which of course has gone everywhere. So just adding that in and then cleaning up. So then you just mix it up and see what you get. So I started to paint the squishy, and as I did so I realised I'd been a bit rough with the sandpaper and the texture just wasn't right. So I've gone in with some white puffy paint and I'm spreading a layer over it to make it slightly more smooth, but still a bit textured like toast, and then it came out like this. So now I'm doing the crust of the toast, which should be a slightly different shade of brown to the toast, which looks a bit well done actually. Carefully drawing a line around the edges. I'm just trying to make it look like toast. You can see here I've already painted the yolk, and I really like this shade of yellowy orange. It came out really well. I just lost that footage somewhere. And for the egg, I am just going around with white puffy paint, drawing an outline of where I want it to be, and then filling it in a nice thick layer. Being really careful to try not to smudge it as I'm holding it and moving it around. You'll see what the final squishy looks like when it's all dried and finished at the end of part 2, when I show all the squishies together. Moving on to the next set of squishies. It's the strawberry, the ice cream and the cat head. So I'm deciding I want to replace the green ice cream with the cat. He's going to be the ice cream scoop. The other cat you saw there trying to get involved and play with my squishies, which is not allowed. So it's just trial and error here, and I'm trimming down the ice cream a bit more so the cat fits nicely on top. And let's not forget the plastic hook in his head that needs to be pulled out. This one wasn't too bad. And luckily I won't have to patch that up because I have a plan for the top of his head. Now I'm going to hot glue the two together, just like that. And you just have to hold it together for a bit until it dries. Then using some slick paint along the seams, which fills all the gaps, creates a nice smooth seam and makes it really strong so it's one squishy. Once that's dry, I'm thinking about the top of his head, and I decided he needs some strawberries. Now the strawberry I have is obviously too big, so I'm going to cut down a piece of the strawberry and just try and position it and decide where I want it to go. But they're still too big, so I cut it in half again and position it again. And once I'm happy with it, it's just the same thing again, taking the hot glue and securing them to the head and covering the whole thing in slick paint, which seals up the exposed memory foam, all the gaps, and it just makes it one strong squishy. You can see there I'm using neon fabric paint because it doesn't get used that often for decoration, but it's good for doing this. Because the squishy is so small, it's actually easier to smooth it out with my finger rather than a brush. Now I've already added a layer of white paint to the top half. The actual cone, because I'm going for a similar colour, I decided not to do the white base coat on that. And I think there were 4 layers on there. Now onto the ice cream, which is going to be this absolutely gorgeous pink strawberry colour. And because it was already on the white base coat, it only needed 3 layers for that. I'm definitely going to use this colour again in this squishy makeover, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Now for some chocolate drips to go all the way around the cone, straight from the bottle, because the brown slick paint does look exactly like chocolate. And he's also going to have some chocolate in his ears as well. I'm just putting a small blob in the ear and using a dotting tool to smooth it out into the triangle shape. Then I've sketched out the face with a pencil just to make sure the eyes aren't too wonky. I'm using a really fine dotting tool to create the eyelashes and the mouth, and I've coloured the eyes in brown as well. I didn't want all the features to be brown, so I'm adding a nice, very light pink nose, which is going to be super cute. Now onto the strawberries. Instead of just colouring them in as strawberries, I've decided to make it a strawberry compote, which makes it super easy because you just go straight in with the red paint straight from the tube, cover the whole thing up, and it looks really good because you can still see the strawberry shape underneath, and it looks just like a compote. Now going in with some more details, I decided to do an outline of the nose in the brown chocolate. And I went over the mouth again just to match it up. Final touches, and then you'll see the finished result at the end. Now moving on to the next project, this super cute turtle and all his accessories. So first thing to do, remove all the plastic tags. And of course they are all being a nightmare, except for this one, which I was very surprised by, and it just came right out. Now for this set of squishies, I'm not putting the white base coat on that I would normally. So instead I'm just putting on a layer of puffy paint as a base coat so the actual colour goes on smoothly. You can see I'm only using the stem of this mushroom, so I don't need to paint the whole mushroom. Then just using a brush to smooth it all out like this. Now that's all dried, I am going to cut off the stem of the mushroom and show you what I'm going to do with it. It's going to be a little hat for the turtle. Actually, it's going to end up as a top hat. And so now just to super glue it all together. Now it's time to start the painting. This one and the bun are going to be the rocks in the pond. I'm just painting this one grey, and I'm going to do some darker grey on the bottom just to make it a bit more interesting. But it is a rock, so how interesting can it be, really? So moving on, and our turtle will also have this lily pad going in straight from the bottle, and as you can see, again, it's a dark colour, so it didn't need the white base coat. And I'm just colouring the whole thing green and putting a pattern on top, like that. You've probably noticed the turtle already has an orange coat of paint because his shell will be orange. I'm just putting another coat on now. I'll just keep going with the coats until I'm happy with it. I just decided not to do the classic green shell because I wanted some other colours other than grey and green. Now adding more of a pattern to the shell, which it turns out makes him look like a pincushion. So I keep going, but now he looks like an orange with cloves in it, like you would have at Christmas. I did consider making him blue, but I decided to go for the classic green for the turtle. But it's this very pastel green. So just covering up the face, his tiny little arms and his tiny little legs as well. He is really small, so I'm just trying to keep it as simple and as neat as possible. And here he is. So now he needs a hat. Because it's a top hat, I'm going for the classic black, just going in straight from the tube and smoothing it out. And once that's dry, he also has a face. Now, no top hat would be complete without the brim, so I'm just going in and creating that straight from the bottle and just keep going around until it looks pretty even all the way around. Now, I thought he would be finished by now, but looking at him, there is still something missing. And I decided he needed a flower in his hat. Still going to try and keep it as simple as possible, so just going in with little blobs of fabric paint all the way around and then leaving it to dry and see how it turns out. And it just looks so adorable. I love it so much. Now, just to show you what I was doing with the other rock, the blue pond will be on the sides and the base. And I'm adding some greenery. I guess it could be plants or moss. And I'm sure our turtle will love sitting on this rock. Don't forget to tune into part 2 for all the finished squishies. It's bye from me, Squishy Exclusive. Bye!